the close of the Age of Fire, the holy maiden Gertrude, daughter to the beloved Queen of Lothric, was imprisoned by the scholars of the archives. Worship of the divine messengers and the following of Gertrude's teachings was banned and condemned as heresy by the powers of Lothric. A brutal civil war raged between those faithful to Gertrude and those faithful to the prince. Death and destruction was wrought on either side. Gertrude, through experimentation, torture, and many unspeakable acts, was rendered blind and unable to speak. However, she was still able to pass on her teachings of the angelic faith of Lothric to her faithful winged sentinels and to one other. Her guardian, her eyes, and her voice. Gifted by the holy armaments of the faithful, blessed by the holy maiden herself, Gertrude's voice carries forth into the castle to spread the word of the divine messengers, to silence the non-believers, and force all to accept the one true faith of Lothric. Hello everyone, and welcome to another Dark Souls 3 Invasion build video. I got something pretty fun, pretty special for you guys today. So, over the last few weeks and months I've been thinking of ways that I can spice up the game for myself, because the game's been out since 2016 now, so that's a long ass time to be playing one game. I'm still enjoying it very much, and I just wanted to. There's a lot of players that are trying to do things to spice up the game because they want to keep playing it and they enjoy it. So a lot of people are working on their player tech, like backstabs and parry fishes and swaps and things like that, real flashy stuff. And unfortunately for me, I don't have the manual dexterity to be able to pull that stuff off. I'm not saying that I wouldn't be able to if I practiced a lot, but I'm kind of at a stage now where I feel that I've hit the ceiling of sort of how good I'm going to get at this game, and I'm alright with that. So what I've been enjoying recently is going for some sort of unconventional builds, weapon types, and things that you don't normally see in PvP invasions. Less of the try-hard and more of the lore aspect of it. I'm enjoying that very much. I'm not to say that I am original in what I'm doing. This is, you know, I'm very much taking inspiration from many other Dark Souls YouTubers, specifically Saint Riot. I know he's a big character and lore nerd when it comes to this, so this is taking inspiration from that. So, as you can see, as you saw from the introduction, the idea behind this build was a follower of Gertrude, because that area of the lore I feel hasn't been fleshed out particularly. Not through any fault of the game, it's just the way that Dark Souls is. So I wanted to fill in a little gap, because Gertrude, the Holy Maiden, has been struck blind and dumb. She has no way, or had no way, to communicate with the outside world, and to, you know, send forth her teachings about the angelic missionaries or whatever. So I thought a cool character would be, much like in biblical mythology where there was a designated angel who would speak on behalf of God, a character that could speak on behalf of Gertrude because she couldn't speak herself. So the character's name, messages is Gertrude's voice, and that's just what she is. She is the voice and also the eyes of Gertrude, for she cannot see or speak herself. So everything that this character is using is related to the angelic religion of Lothric and their adherents. That's the theme that I wanted to stick with, and I'm really enjoying playing this character. Really good fun. So let me show you what I'm rocking. So let's go for the stats first, because this is a kind of unconventional build. It's a bit of a, I don't know, if you're down for stat efficiency, this is one of your worst nightmares, because this is woefully inefficient build. This is woefully bad, but it's fun as hell, and it lets me fit the character that I'm playing. So level 70, I'm going with 33 vigor, 18 attunement, which gives me 2 attunement slots. I've got 18 endurance, 19 vitality, because I'm coming to the realization, along with many others now, that endurance for stamina is really, unless you're blocking a lot or swinging a massive ultra greatsword all the time, your endurance can pretty much be your dump stat, really, which frees up a lot more room for other areas. 26 strength, so this is a hybrid strength faith build. 16 dexterity, base intelligence for the mercenary starting class, and 30 faith. So the weapons I'm rocking, obviously I wanted to keep within the theme of follower of Gertrude and the angelic religion, so I'm rocking the heavy wing knight halberd, which interestingly enough, second to the split leaf, has the highest AR when heavy infused of any of the glaives or halberds, so it's got that going for it. It doesn't have any special movesets, it doesn't have any wombo combos, which sucks, but it's pretty hefty, does some good damage, and looks intimidating as fuck. I've also got the Wing Knight twin axes, obviously another weapon of the angelic knights that you find all around Lothric, which is pretty fucking flash. I've got a heavy Lothric greatsword, because as we know there are several Lothric knights that follow the angelic religion. As we can see, some of them I think cast the blessed weapon buff on them, are the ones that are leading down from the prince, so you can assume they're followers of the angelic religion. We've also got a Saint Bident, because I wanted a spear and I needed something that looked ecclesiastical, and the Saint Bident fits the aesthetic of the build really nicely. It's also very handy that it's like it's the second longest spear in the game, and it's meta as fuck. Which I got a nice little piece of hate mail, which I shall show you later, complaining about the Bident. It's a brilliant weapon. So I've also got a broadsword, which, you know, it's a straight sword. You need a straight sword, and the broadsword has good heavy scaling. And I've got the Sacred Bloom Shield, which is found by the painting of the Winged Knight up at the start of Lothric Castle, so you can assume this is, because we know this is a relic of the Way of White, and obviously has ties to the angelic religion. Looks flashy as fuck, suits the build really nicely. And for the talisman that I'm casting my miracles, I've got just a regular old talisman and a Saintry Bellvine. So the talisman has Unfaltering Prayer, but the Saintry Bellvine casts faster. So I'm on the fence as to which one I'm preferring at the moment. But Unfaltering Prayer, although the cast is slower, there's less risk involved, which is nice. So for the fashion, I'm quite happy with how this fashion has turned out. Really, it's one of my new favourite fashions. So Lothric Knight leggings, Winged Knight gauntlets, pale shade robe, which again looks very ecclesiastical and sort of, you know, religious garb, and it's white. It suits the aesthetic of the build nicely. And I've got the ragged mask on, so because this is Gertrude's voice, and sort of the main centerpiece of the build, I say centerpiece, is Wrath of the Gods. The lore reason that she has the mask is that her voice is so powerful that it like destroys the minds of lesser men, which sort of is manifested in the Wrath of the Gods miracle, which is quite fun. So that's why she has to wear the mask, to muffle her voice so she doesn't blow the minds of lesser men, which is fun. I've got Prison Chain, Ring of Favour +3, the Saint's Ring to give me the 3 attunement slots, because I wanted 3 miracles. I wanted Force, Blessed Weapon, and Wrath of the Gods. And I've got a Priestess Ring, which is bumping up my faith to 30, which helps me with Wrath of the Gods. So this is a super fun build. I hope you enjoy the evasions. I know I've got quite a lot. I'm sorry if you're not enjoying the long form video. But I've got lots to showcase to you guys, so I hope you enjoy. So, before we start, I can hear you asking, clamouring at me through gritted teeth, why aren't you using Divine Pillars of Light? If you're a follower of Gertrude, you need to use Divine Pillars of Light. And I will tell you for why, is that there is no fucking chance in hell that I would ever use that miracle again. It is beyond garbage. Like, Wrath of the Gods is pretty piss poor. And I tried, believe me, I tried to use a Divine Pillars of Light because I thought it might be a little bit shitty, but I'll be able to have some fun with it. No, there is no fun to be had with that miracle. It is a no fun allowed miracle. The amusement you get from actually hitting someone with Divine Pillars of Light is far outweighed by the misery of actually having to cast that shitty miracle. So, Wrath of the Gods fits the build and it fits the aesthetic nicely, so I'm happy to leave it at Wrath of the Gods. And I guess you could say that it wasn't... the Angelic Knights actually cast Divine Pillars of Light, so I can't say that it was Gertrude's miracle and not her followers, but we're sticking with Wrath of the Gods. So this is the bread and butter of the build, and when it works well. You saw in that first invasion, you saw in that one. So you use Force, not only to knock people off ledges, you know, to do the whole fighter PL, I'm the bomb thing, but it's to force people on the ground, so then you can go into casting Wrath of the Gods, because when they're down on the ground, all they want to do is roll away, and they see you start casting Wrath of the Gods, and they want to immediately get out of that range. So putting them in the prone position with Force forces them to panic, and you can catch them with Wrath of the Gods, and that's when it's working well. It doesn't always work, obviously, and if they come out, it depends on the cat, because if you're using the Talisman and use Unfaltering Prayer, your cast speed is drastically increased compared to Sanctuary Bellvine. But then with the Sanctuary Bellvine, all they have to do is tap you, and then that interrupts your spell. So I'm kind of sticking with the Unfaltering Prayer, because the worst that will happen is that you'll miss. Whereas the Bellvine, not only will you may miss, they also might interrupt you and start doing damage to you, which I think is the trade-off there. If I had a few more levels to spare, I'd sacrifice either the Faith Ring or the Saints Ring to bump up my stats, and then use the Sage's Ring +2 to get the cast speed up. That would be nice. So you can see various iterations of the build in these first few clips. So in that last one you saw, I did have Divine Pillars of Light equipped when I was still trying to make it work. God no. And this one is a slightly more stat efficient version of the build. I was getting like this was like version 1.2 or something. So I eschewed Divine Pillars of Light at this point because I was just like, it was making me miserable. So I went for 15 faith for the blessed weapon, and then dumped everything into strength to get more damage out of my weapons. And this is a much more efficient use of stats in this build. There's loads of ways you could play it. You could stick with the 30 faith and go with Dark Moon Blade or Lightning Blade, because that's a much better buff than Blessed Weapon at this level. Because the Blessed Weapon buff gives you just a flat percentage increase on your physical damage, regardless of what your spell buff on your talisman is. Whereas Lightning Blade and Dark Moon Blade, it's more dependent on your faith and your spell buff that you have on your talisman. And then you just dump everything into your whatever stats you want. You would go for sort of low investment weapons. So the big problem with this build is that I wanted to use the Wing Knight Halberd because of the lore reasons, and that requires 26 strength, and that's quite a lot to invest and still have enough left over for all the spells and all the other, you know, vigor and endurance and all that shit that I needed. So what you would do is you'd stick to maybe, I don't know, like you go for maybe a lighter Ultra Great Sword as your big weapon, and then maybe like a glaive or something like that. And you dump the rest, all your excess stats into faith or strength or something. Or yeah, that would be a much more efficient use of the stats of this build. But as it stands, I wanted to stick with the the build aesthetic, and it's fun. It's fine. It's bloody good. In fact, I would say it's bloody good. So 'cause another thing I'm coming to the realization of now, because I've played around with some of the weird infusions like Simple and Blessed. For PvP, damage, it's you need damage, yes, but you can do without it in a lot of cases. I'm not saying that you should go meme level broken straight sword damage in order to you know, and still be like, oh, it's perfectly viable with 100 AR. It's like, no, you need damage, but shaving 20 AR and saving 10 stats means almost nothing. In my mind, in my experience, those stats are better served elsewhere. So even with my like 28 or 26 strength, I can't remember what it is I've got at the moment, I can still do decent damage with my weapons. And you know, you just pop the blessed weapon buff on there, and you get a nice little bump, and you can put some resins on that, and you get a nice little bump in that at the moment. It's fine. It's perfectly serviceable, and it allows you to be a lot more flexible with your build crafting, so you can put some stats in more unconventional areas. I'm enjoying that a hell of a lot more. It's sort of the one damage stat meta that we've all fallen into now. You're either a strength builder, dex builder, an int builder, or a faith builder. There's no hybrid builds anymore. There's none of that unless you're a dark build, but then that's just a pyro build without any spells. So yeah, give it a try. Like an int dex build would synergize really well, obviously, because your cast speed is dependent on your dexterity to a degree. So having 40 dexterity on a sharp build, and then you have some, say you got like 25 or 30 int for some spells, you get some decent cards. So you don't have to use the Witchery branch for the cast speed, you don't have to sacrifice a ring slot for the Sage's ring, and you can put on some damage dealing rings. That would be quite cool. Might give that a go, actually. That sounds awfully fun. I'm trying to think of the next build that I want to make. Sort of what area I want to do. I want to do these lore builds, man, because this is fun as shit. This is really, really fun. I mean, I'm still the salty tryhard at heart, and I'm still not above throwing poo and pointing down at fools that give me disrespect and give me jib. But I don't know, I feel more accomplished. This is a build I made myself. It's inefficient, but you can still put people away, and you can still bark a bomb bait people in 2019, the year of our Lord 2019. Like, it's come full circle now. So everyone fell for Barker Bombay back in 2016, 2017, and then everyone was like, "All right, we know what's going on now," and you could just BS fish the fuck out of anyone trying it. But now it's come back around because we've got this whole new generation of players that really fall for it again. So I know everyone will have gotten out of the habit of Barker Bombayting people, because it started to not work, but go back to it. It works still. Barker Bombay still fucking works. Adam Barker is a true pioneer. So this Onion Knight is doing fuck tons of damage with the Keisters. I don't know if he's got like the Dark Clutch ring on or something, because he's doing like bonkers, redonker nuts damage with just one punch of that fucking thing. And he's not over leveled. Well, I suppose he could be quite a little, because I'm soul level 70, so that means I can invade up to like soul level 90-ish, and a host can then summon well above his range as well. So it could be that this Phantom is like soul level 120 or something ridiculous, which makes this, you know, fucking kill all the more tasty. Wait, here he comes. He's just doing these backstabs. It's like, why? This isn't Dark Souls 2. Get fucked. How many souls did that guy give me? Fucking loads. Yeah, he was incredibly over-leveled. Oh dear. So he summoned his, you know, Fallen Knight, password summon Fallen Knight back in. So I'm feeling pretty flush with success at this point, having put away his Onion Knight. I was like, oh look, God, yeah, I'm gonna fucking win this. But, you know, he's an over-leveled Phantom. He gets all the damage in the world. And I stupidly just walk into his hyper armor and get fucking chopped down. So this host gets a free pass on playing the game. He doesn't need to try. He has his over-leveled Phantoms to play it for him. I put him away once in that previous invasion, so you know I could leave a happy man. So when I was putting together this build, I wanted to practice with a glaive, because glaives are something I really struggle with unless I'm brute forcing it and using just an ultra weapon to poise to fuck through it. I have real problems fighting glaives. So I wanted to use one in order to get used to the moveset and everything, to find counters for it. And so as I was making the build, I was running through with just the regular vanilla glaive as my weapon until I got all my, you know, Wind Knight shit. And there's some invasions that I had, or some invaders that came again, you know, Twinkie, tryhard, you know, parry, spam invaders. who really struggled with fighting the glaive moveset. Because of the little bit of hyper armor you get, it's really can be quite difficult if you're going just pure, you know, parry, shield, and straight sword. It can be quite tricky unless you know what you're doing. So this might come out as another video sometime later on, because I've got the clips of the invasions with one invader in particular who was he was a good sport in the end, but he was pretty try-hard the first 2 or 3 times that he invaded me in the catacombs. I was quite surprised with how well that weapon does. Like I said before, it's unfortunate that the winged knight hammer doesn't have like the spin to win wombo combo, true combo thing. And that sucks ass, it really does, because then with that gone, all you've got is just good damage and your R1s, because no one uses the glaive R2s because they're hot shit. So yeah, that's an unfortunate facet of using that weapon. So he's used the seed on me at this point, and it's like, it's stupid because I can literally just run past you and the knight will just go, oh, alright, the person I was aggroed on is gone, so let's just aggro on these two. And this Red Eye Knight, you don't want to fuck with this boy. He's got a dick bigger than King Kong, this guy. He is the true... Oh no, the true final boss of Dark Souls is the Cathedral Knight before Osiris. He is fucking... he is proper... He's Dark Souls manifest, that guy. Plunging attack? No. God, look at that. The jaws snap close as soon as I make one mistake. A stupid, like, fucking rabbit fucking being chased down a hole, but get caught up in the corner. And then fucking Axeman Andrew, BAM! With the fucking clutch kill. Axeman Andrew, he still got it. Sticky Bandit, where are you? Get your ass back to Lothric. Axeman Andrew misses you. He misses the fucking gang spanks with you. God, those are fun ones. Sticky's old video, well, all of his videos are fun as hell, but his old videos when he was invading Lothric Castle were just fun as hell. With Crossbow Chris and Axeman Andrew. I can't remember what the halberd guy was called, like Halberd Harry or something. Right, so at this point, he's running around, he's taken by the bonfire. You'll see in a minute he will stand still for a split second, and you can see that he's wanting to summon his stupid password summoned asshole friend, trying to cuck the proceedings. It's a half-assed attempt at a roll backstab there. See, stand still right there, and I know I'm like, right, that's where the summon sign in. I need to keep the pressure on this guy. He can't stand still for even a second for him to get to that summon sign. And this, I tell you what, I'm loving using spears, man. They're probably fast becoming my new favourite weapon class, especially the long ones like the Biden and the plough. It's just, it's so good at maintaining pressure, and it's like I said before, it's spacing on easy mode a lot of the time, especially if they got an ultra. Even with a straight sword, trying to space an ultra can be dangerous at times if you misjudge it, but it's so difficult to misjudge spacing with a spear on those kind of weapons. It's just so fucking easy. I love it. It's brilliant as well. So we've already got an invader friend in here. I'm like, okay, fucking Christ. Password summon freed. And this is just this was just a fun roll catch, fucking hell. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 fucking roll catches. I was just like, oh, okay, bye then. Oh, sometimes it is just that easy if you've got an invader there. Ah, yes, this was one of those beautiful, karmic moments with the real Pepe, because I don't believe that Pepe would be a ganker. Pepe is too caught up in his feels to be a ganker. And I just get, look at that, I just get run down like a fucking dog in the street. instantly these guys were actual real deal gankers, because I invade them right back and they haven't moved, they're not playing the level, and I basically, like DS1 style, get spawn camped and fucking annihilated. That's like real depressing shit right there. I was getting PTSD and like, oh my god, this is just flashing back to Dark Souls Remastered all over again. Oh god. But I'm not one to give up. Well, I am sometimes one to give up, but this time I wasn't one to give up. So I invade the real Pepe back, because I know he's got dry fingers, so I just need to wait for an invader. And we got someone with a Herald Curved Greatsword with a Herald chest piece, so I have a feeling that this guy is going to do a fuck boatload of damage, and I am not wrong. So I instantly run past the party to try and split them up, so that either I can have the 1v1 or Invader Bro can have the 1v1. Because us both staying in that choke point would have, you know, and we could hit each other, would have been advantageous to them. So splitting them up, whether it was 2 on me or 2 on them, it wouldn't have mattered. That's all we needed. And fucking look at it get fucking plunged, son. And then teamwork makes the fucking dream work. And we got fucking Cumboy over there. He's old semen stained jizz rag. He's fucking been put in the ground like a used fucking jizz rag. And now host fucking runs. The real Pepe fucking runs. Go to the spear. So glad I've fucking got this. And now my job is to keep on this guy. I trust that invader implicitly to take care of Piss Bro, so I can stop this guy getting to summon signs and resummon his fucking army again. Why he comes back here and not just sticks around by the other bonfire, by the Dragon Barracks bonfire? Fuck knows why he does that. Does it this way. And of course, Phantom Piss Bro, left out like a baby in the rain, left to the elements, got fucking eaten by giant fat Harold guy there. like 10 seconds of him being on his own and he just got fucking annihilated. It's brilliant. And this invader knows what the fuck he's going. We do the, you know, one goes in, one goes out, running attack, sort of staggered spam. It's fucking glorious. I don't think either. I think he only hit me once during that entire invasion. That was fucking amazing. GG, fat guy. And this guy gets a load of shit thrown at him for fucking spawn camping me. Yeah, boy. This was a fun little one. I came across this guy and he was praying at the altar. You see, he was pretty chill. He was running a nice, using an unconventional weapon, using the Crescent Axe. I had a lot of time for this guy. He let me, you know, murder a couple of blues, which I'm always grateful for. I enjoy getting those forked pale tongues immensely. See, the thing with fighting bad players like this is that you always end up under it. You presume that they're going to be better than they are, and in a weird way, and like you think, okay, he's low on health, he's going to want to roll out, so then you can go into aggression mode. But no, they just R1 mashing, and they just don't give a shit if they got low health or not. Poke and poke. Goodbye. And our second blue-balled friend emerges from the elevator. See the Farron Mean sword. I'm still not too great at parrying that thing. Obviously, you can parry the third, you know, L1, which is real easy to do. But parrying any of the other attacks, I'm still not good at yet. So he just gets fucking spaceship launched. Like I said, third L1. Fucking even a baby could parry that. And because this guy was a gent, he gets a prayer. You might be a heretical unbeliever, praying with those heretical Lothric knights, but you have my thanks. So, being the sweetie that he is, he gives me an ember. I wanted to say thank you, but I don't have the thank you carving, so I just give him some embers back. you know, I'm always happy when these kind of occurrences, there's little understanding between two players. It's all well and good spanking a gank and, you know, memeing on their corpse and stuff, but these kind of moments, these understandings between two players are what really makes this game for me. And he put up a spirited fight. Got Pyro Glove with the Crescent Axe. I love the aesthetics of the Crescent Axe are brilliant. It's a pretty mediocre weapon, unfortunately. Damage and moveset wise, it's shorter than all the other glaives, and its damage is nowhere near as high as the other glaives as well. And there's no real unique movesets for it, unfortunately. It's got Warcry for some fucking bizarre reason. So I decided I wasn't going to heal for this fight. I was like, right, I'll give him an honest battle. He's deserved that much. Bam. GG, sir. Thank you for your kindness. Oh yes, this guy. This guy was obviously fairly experienced in the game. He wasn't fazed by me or any of my antics at all. I'm trying to go for that circle strafe backstab. I'm trying to get. Those are the kind of backstabs I can actually do, because even when people are circling you, not trying to get a backstab, you can still sometimes pull off that circle strafe backstab on them. And of course, you know, in a heartbeat, fucking Gold Phantom arrives. Might take all the damage from the leg. Look how cool that looks though, that Lothric Knight Ultra Greatsword. Cool as fucking shit. Right, at this point, look, he must have had the Night Slayer ring on, because I was like full stamina with that. I doubt that he had a fully upgraded weapon at this point, but he must have had the Night Slayer ring on. So I'm like, okay, I can't really stay in there. I suppose if I'd gone straight sword, maybe I would have been able to do something, but with that poise for that greatsword would have given me conniptions. And I think he was smart enough, at least not to get parried easily. So this is an unfortunate choke point that a lot of you invaders will know quite well if you invade in this area a lot, is that because obviously beyond there is where all the mobs are, you'll get a lot of hosts very hesitant, even big parties very hesitant to go up there, and you're left at this kind of awkward stalemate where you want them to come to you so you can use that aggression against them, but they are refusing, so you'll have a party of passive players, and all they're waiting for you to do is to swing and miss, and then the other party members just, you know, go and blindside you whilst you're caught in an animation. And I've said it before, there's very little you can do in that situation. I've taken to just poking with the spear, just going for running attacks, and trying to goad them and do little bits of damage where I can. Something that's very non-committal. A spear running attack is very non-committal, but then if they get used to reaction rolling it, it just becomes like a ball ache. And at that point you might as well just go and sit by the enemies and wait for them. But that's like no fun. I don't want to say it's cheap, but what they're doing is fairly cheap as well. That dank passive meta. So I'm kind of racking my brains of what I can do to goad these guys. Fortunately, he makes a run for it. Obviously, he knows this game well enough that he's not too afraid of the mobs and the invader, especially with another Phantom in the world. But this was the opening I was looking for. I just got the Phantom on his own for just 5 seconds, and I was able to put him away. So that's all I needed. So I don't care about the mobs now, they can just go fuck themselves. I just need to chase this guy down. So for the chasing down of solo hosts, whatever weapon they've got, to be honest, I really have taken to using the spear for pretty much any situation. And you can see that when I do eventually start hitting him, it puts in work. It really does, and you can be quite non-committal with your R1s because you can keep them at range. And again, because of the sort of the weird sort of latency in hitboxes that Dark Souls has, even if he rolls past me and he rolls poorly, you can still hit him even though he's technically behind you, which is quite nice. So, because this build is kind of all over the place, it's very non-committed, and so my damage, like I said, is pretty... It's not bad, it's just not as efficient or as good as it could be. So these kinds of parties, the two fucking password summoned, over leveled to the max, great shield phantoms, they are a massive problem. There's nothing outside of just chipping away, there's nothing you can really do to deal with these guys efficiently, which is the one sort of weakness of this build. So if I look at that, get the parry and just gets fucking minced up. If I'd made this build more efficient, I would have just gone full strength or full faith, and had the really good damage, used really efficient weapons, like maybe instead of the winged knight glaive, I would use the vanilla glaive and stuff like that, and then have a lightning claymore or something. That would be cool. But no, I've got to stick with what I got. But you know, these players level to max for a reason, because they're hot garbage on a cold day. So they know that I'm doing shit damage, but they still throw their shield up because oh, it's a great shield. I can, you know, fucking block anything. Fucking bean licking fucktards. These are the kinds of people that enjoy fucking supermarket brand Marmite. Not even the good Marmite, the really bad Marmite. Right, okay, I need to ask a question. So this Champion's Charge, I've had this done to me so many times. They'll get me with the Champion's Charge once and then they can just infinitely chain that. Is there a way to get out of that chain? Like, after they've put you on the ground and they do it again, is there a way to get up and be able to deal with that? Because I cannot find a way, because they just seem to get you before you can roll and before you can parry out of it. It seems like once you're there, that's it, you're dead. Someone please explain. So this guy has the right idea. He has an efficient fucking build, split leaf with fucking Dark Moon Blade, so he can deal with this party, and you can see this is the same party as before, and he's just fucking demolished the entire squad. And like, I'm just here like poking away with my shitty little lightning spear and he just bulldozes the whole lot of them. So GG that guy. I didn't really help, but there you go. It's a little peace of mind to know that those gankers got dealt with. Yeah, so this is just maybe a small example. I've shown before that why the twin axes are good. Although I've still got relatively low AR for these twin axes. I think it's like just over 300 or something ridiculous, which is like piss poor on the face of it. But because of the multi-hit system on the axes, you can still do like 600 damage with the 2L1 combo, and you stack the buff on it, and you can just fucking rinse people out. Even with this low amount of strength, it's pretty impressive. I don't use these axes almost all that often. To be honest, I sort of... It's kind of like a doomsday thing. Like, I'll bring that out when I just want to do fuck tons of damage really, really quickly. But again, it's got the problem with no hyper armor, and it's relatively slow. Fun fucking weapons to use though, I'll tell you. Pow! Umbasa! It's always fun to catch people with that. I know it's not viable, or you know, it's not going to catch a good player. Of course it isn't. But it's for random invasions, dude. It's the fucking tits. So, when you get caught up with using these kinds of builds, you end up enjoying the roleplay aspect quite a lot. I mean, I enjoy Dungeons and Dragons, what I used to when I was younger. I would love to play Dungeons and Dragons again, just to relive that. So I like, you know, doing the whole roleplay thing. And back in the day when I was a teenager, I used to do Warhammer and Warhammer 40k, sorry. And the little club that we were with, we would hold little tournaments and, you know, leagues with other clubs and stuff like that. And the one rule that we had internally for our little club was that in order to compete in these little internal tournaments, is that you have to have a page of fluff or lore written about your army and the general and their achievements. And we all really got into that, and we came up with these stupid names and achievements for all of our generals and stuff like that. It was funny as hell, and it was that still was sort of carried on into Dark Souls. And I enjoy giving the characters a little story and things that they do to feel a part of the game. And I remember we also played Blood Bowl. Is a little fucking Blood Bowl was the Warhammer equivalent of American football. So you had your little miniatures on a little pretend football pitch, and it was set within the Warhammer fantasy universe, and you know, loads of dice rolling and stuff. And we had our own little team. I played a human team, and I gave them all little. I called them all after British politicians. It was like Tony Blair as centre front, and like Charles Kennedy in the back, stuff like that. And they would all sustain injury. The way that the league worked is that injury sustained to your players during games would carry on for the rest of the league. So if Charles Kennedy like got his fucking head smashed in and he died, then that would be it. That would be him out of the league. It was good fun. That whole character roleplay thing is something that I really enjoy. So this was the guy that sent me a hate mail, the guy with the Ultra Great Sword and the Dark Sword. So he's running a build that I quite enjoy. Oh no, it's not the Ultra Great Sword, it's the Cathedral Knight Ultra Great Sword. Get caught up in the corner there. I thought that doorway was a hell of a lot wider than it was. So yeah, he's running a build that I enjoy very much as well. The fast weapon and the poison weapon. But he's not that good at it, unfortunately. And he's using the Dark Sword, so you get no fucking passion points for using the Dark Sword. It's actually criminal that you use that weapon. So with those kind of hybrid builds, spear. Just go spear. Because all they're trying to do is bait you in with the slow Ultra Great Sword R1s, and then they'll spam you with the straight sword or whatever. So you just poke them. Just poke them from afar. It's not far out of the Ultra Great Sword range and far out the straight sword range. Just poke them. Just fucking poke them. So this guy gets quite incensed by my use of the Biden. I mean, I understand that it is sort of considered quite a meta spear because of its length. In damage, it's just a spear. It doesn't do good damage. I guess he just didn't like getting poked for like 300 damage every time he swung his sword. So again, we've come to an impasse now. They're kind of like hanging back here, and they're a bit like hesitant to come up and follow me, and like I need them to come up because I need the enemies to split them up for just a fucking second so I can actually do something. So it's a case of what do they expect me to do, really? I mean, I guess the onus is on them to progress the level, because the host obviously needs to get to the bonfire, but they know that they can take their sweet ass time, and that, you know, the time is on me, honestly, because they know that I know that they can just summon more phantoms in. Fortunately, they grow a pair and fucking come out, and I'm able to actually start manoeuvring and doing things that I need to do to fucking kill them. Like, are you gonna chase me? Are you gonna try and attack me in any way? You know? I mean, I understand their mentalities, that they know that I'm going to use the mobs. They know that, and that's fine. But like, come on, at least make it fun, please. It's such a pain in the arse having to play this fucking standoff game every time. Ooh, caught me that, and said that the fucking phantom blindsides me with these bloody spells. Looking for lazy, I was looking for sea browns. I'm like, oh shit, I don't have any. Better use that Estus. Again, like, the standoff continues. Neither of us want to commit. So you can see there behind there, he gives me the welcome gesture. And say, well, come on then, fucking fight us, giant pussy. But then he runs off, so I get my wish. I get to 1v1 the Phantom. I'm like, oh, he's gone. 1, 2, get fucked. Book. Goodbye, piss bro. Thanks for that. Nice little ambush there. Very good. I don't know why he sort of abandoned his dual wielding sort of technique, because that, you know, now that it's a 1v1, and we have a lot of space to work with, he could use that to his advantage, and he could be doing some nice mix-ups with that setup. But I wanted to two-hand the Dark Sword, I guess. Try two-handing. I don't know why my parry. I tried to parry at that moment. I swear to God, I must have just not hit the button fully. Get the DB, because I want to put this guy away. His passivity was pissing me off. And you can see, for most of that, I was just using the straight sword. So, after the hate mail will come afterwards. It's just yeah, that's great. Good job. Spin to win, mate. Book. GG, sir. You get a point down for playing passive and being an asshole. Because, you know, but when I play passive, it's completely different. Lol. Poking with the button means you're scared. It's okay. So yeah, okay, whatever, mate. So it's I thought for a good couple of minutes about what I should send back to him, whether I should goad him for more hate mail. But I landed on the sticky bandit smile, because that usually gets people's backs up. Apparently, did you guys see Sticky's last video with that guy who sent all the fucking? That's not even hate mail anymore. That's just like full blown rage mail. That's just insane. And he turned up in the comments section of the video and he was just slagging off everyone. It was incredible. Every comment that someone left, he was like, oh, another irrelevant Dark Souls YouTube. It's funny trolling Sticky Bandit. And it's like, it was one of those instances where he, like, literally do not feed the troll, do not talk to him, do not you know, engage him in anything, because all he wants is to be an asshole to people. You see, I'm fucking panic rolling buggery there. Yeah, he was an asshole, and he knew he was being an asshole. And like, I would say, oh, it's because he's autistic, but I know autistic people, and they're no near as cuntish as that guy was. I fucking love this spell, man. Umbasa! Boom. Get the fucking quick step, boy. So this was the final fight, and I'll speed up this last part because this guy had a lot of lag and he was just roly-poly as fuck, so it was a pretty tedious fight. I just wanted to show that fucking that kill with Wrath of the Gods. So anyway guys, I know this was a very long video, so thank you if you've watched this far. I hope you enjoyed it, and I would love to see more of this kind of invading. I know I'm certainly going to be doing more of this kind of lore character invading as opposed to my standard try-hard fare. So, yeah, enjoy yourself everyone, and have a pleasant week, and I will see you again.